You don't have access to this feature. What the fuck? You mean I don't have access to this feature? Let's try unplugging that then. Oh, close. Okay. Right then. What? Good evening, James. Are you hearing me all right, mate? I've got a right balls up going on here.
I'm in the chat and nothing's coming through.
Yeah, you're on the wrong one.
Am I?
Yeah. Unfortunately. Loud and clear. Yeah, there's a load of others on another stream that's going. Eh?
I'm telling them.
Yeah, tell them to go over. Agent X, good evening, sweetheart. How are you? There's a right balls up here. I think I've got 2 streams running. I'm not sure. Oh my lord. I don't even know which one I'm on. All right, James. No worries, mate. No worries. Don't matter what you do today, work has got to come first, isn't it? Always. Forgot about that. Well, I did schedule the stream, and for some reason I couldn't go live on the stream I scheduled. So I don't quite know what's going on there. Mickey, hi, mate. Sorry about the cock up there. I got a feeling I got 2 streams running.
Yeah. You've got HE Media and AMG Rider and Weave on as well on this one.
Yeah. Is the sound coming through on that one though?
There's nothing.
Okay.
This is who's in the chat. Nikki was I am.
Right. Well, I don't know quite what I've done there. Bear with me a minute, people. I'll try and sort this out.
You keep going with them. I'll keep going with this.
We won. Good evening again. Yeah, sorry about that, sweetie. It was my. For some reason, I got another stream going. It didn't go live from my end. And I'm still not that tech savvy when something goes wrong. Good evening, Richard. Who else we got in here?
Got HE Media and AMG Rider?
No, not yet.
But you got Weave on.
Yeah. There's a good evening, AMG. Sorry about the tech issues. Perhaps not the only one. The difference is between me and Pap is he's got the knowledge to be able to sort it out when it fucks up. I haven't. So what did we all reckon about the Secoulis result today then? 8 months suspended for a year. Unbelievable. And good evening, Paul. Yeah, and Lost Souls. Good evening, Ollie. Yeah, it's sorry about that, guys. You know what I'm like with tech. I got a bit confused. The stream wouldn't start. So it just seemed easier to fire up another one. Yeah, James, he's all right, mate. We don't see a lot of him. He does pop over now and again, usually when he wants something. But he will be over Christmas morning, obviously, with the grandkids here for present
Presents.
opening and stuff. So I will tell him you were asking about him. Who else we got in here? Oh, of course, the missus is on her phone in the background there, as you can see.
There we go. There's a hand. And doing on it.
Yeah, he's not too bad, James. Obviously, he's still suffering with his medical problems that he has. But other than that, as far as I know, he's all good. RJ, how are you doing, bud? Yeah, I did have I did something with StreamYard last week or the week before. I thought I'd put it on here so I could share things and what have you. And I tried to use it and nothing happened. So that's something else I've got to look into and learn. Yeah, but yes, Agent X. My nickname used to be Psycho. Um, Basically, it used to be down to the way I used to ride motorbikes and race my cars. As I got into the mountain biking, because I was always the first one to hit the big jumps or try the big jumps, well, try anything on them really. I got given the name Fat Nuts by the mountain bike crew. So does anybody else think that Sakulis should have been um, brought over here to face the music rather than do it the way she did? So you all talk amongst yourselves. I'll just sit here. Yeah, there won't be. That's why I'm going live tonight, because there won't be a video tomorrow. I've got quite a large hospital appointment, all to do with my heart this time, apparently. Bloody hell, 14 watching. And I've been going 8 minutes. Phil,
97 likes.
good evening, buddy. Yes, James. My shoulder isn't in place, as you can see. It's about 4 inches lower than it should be. Just eye candy. I'm way past that.
Fluffy Wuffy.
Fluffy, where's that?
Wee one.
We won.
His nickname
Oh
was.
yeah,
Now it's Fluffy Wuffy Roger.
yeah. That used to be Fluffy
Craig?
Bunny.
Is that Panda in disguise?
Yeah, that's a point. No, it's not. No.
No, I know.
Nothing, Paul. Nothing. We got. I was just watching the results of that Sakulis trial earlier on. No, my shoulder is something I'd done quite a few years ago. Well, not that many years ago, but within the last 10 years. Well, I've had everything more or less within the last 10 years. Strokes, blood clot on the brain, destroyed my shoulder, bypass, 2 stents. And now I'm going through this thing with my bloods. Yes, Richard, it was the one of Sakulis, the woman that killed the lad on the motorbike outside the USAF base over here. She got sentenced today. The judge said that she should have been there for sentencing. They can't really censor it properly. Of course, in the NHS waiting list, I'm part of it. Yeah, they said that she should have been there. There was mitigating circumstances. So the original 15-month sentence that would have been custodial was knocked down to 8. And realistically, as the judge said, because she hasn't turned up to Face the Music and appear in person, all they can do is give her the 8 months suspended for a year. Personally, I'd have left it up in the air. So if she ever came back into this country, it's still on record and they could have banged her up straight away then. But yeah, AMG, they do, mate. They do. Yes, it is, Paul. Yes. And Coolis, her husband was a spy or something when they were over here. Phil just chilling by the fire. Mate, I wish we had an open fire. And now the bloody cat wants to go out.
I'll let her out.
So do it quick though, because she'll come back down now and walk all over the bloody computer.
Does she want to go and see Dada? Does she want to go on the line?
So the cat's been giving me grief all day for some reason.
It's cold.
Trouble is, you'll have to sit there and wait for the bitch to come in now.
Who the hell is out there? Yeah, somebody's out there. He's spitting first.
Jack Ablaze, good evening, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Agent X. Much appreciated. Don't wind her up. God, jeez. Hang on, I just got to play referee here.
He's gone.
Cat's being a pain again.
I was going to pick her up and get her to say hello.
She's got a fat belly. She's been eating too much. No, when she was a bit younger, she just wouldn't leave me alone, and now she's getting old and fat.
Like we all are. She's gone. She's gone.
Yes, it is, and it's taken 3 years to get to that level, Paul. It's took 3 years for it to get to the case. Yo, Graham Nut. Good evening, buddy. Yeah, absolutely pointless, mate. Absolutely pointless. The only thing I would say that will work in favour, they're actually suing her in the American courts, not over here. So I think they will get a nice little payout over that, because they're going after the government over there as well for not allowing the extradition of her. It's when she bloody bites, I tell you. I've still got the hole in my thumbnail where she bit through it when she had that seizure that time. And that had put me on antibiotics for another couple of weeks after that, because it got all infected. But she actually bit through the nail into the side of my thumb. And believe me, that was bloody painful. But in fairness, I was making sure she wasn't choking on anything, because that's what I thought was happening, like, you know. On the pushy action. No, it was just a little spat. She wanted to go out. So. Can't the missus come on? Can't the missus come on? But... So I have trouble reading the comments because my eyes keep going out of focus.
Can't the missus come on? RJ?
Yeah,
RJ wants to see me. I'll come and say
yeah,
hello to her.
she'll come and say hello.
I'll come and say hello to RJ and everything.
There's no chance, no
RJ's
chance of her sitting on my lap, because it's
I'll
only a
break the
cheap chair.
chair.
It's only a cheap chair.
Good evening, RJ and your dad.
There you go. You can speak to him for a while. That'll pick you up then.
I know it'll pick me up, but I can't stand like this forever. I can be back. You carry on talking.
You can sit on the arm of the chair.
No. I've come and said hello. I'll go back to the typing.
Yes, Holly. The feral cats can be very, very nasty, and they've got far more bacteria around their teeth and their mouths than a domestic one. We used to have a whole family of them that lived in the tannery where I worked for obvious reasons, to keep the mice and rats down. Long suffering.
That's for Palm.
Good evening, John. AMG Rider, good evening. Love. Now, I will say, Wee One has got an excellent page on Facebook. I've only just recently started on Facebook, as most of you know. And yeah, some of the stuff, it'll open your eyes. She puts more on there than I do on my channel on here, I tell you. Well worth going over and having a look if you've got the time. When I ain't banned again. Yeah, Holly's got that problem at the moment, Wee One. She's got about, I don't know, what is it, Holly, half a dozen profiles now. And they banned the lot. 4. Yeah, I haven't got that far yet, but I don't think it'll be long, because basically I'm copying some of the other stuff that get people out, other people thrown off. Did you know, John, the cat is still classed as a wild animal? That's why they can't license it. 4 hours on the pan left. Airborne Audits, good evening. 27 days left on holiday. You are to Facebook what I am to YouTube. I think my cat's just anti everything at the moment. But the oh God. You coming then? You coming to say hello? You gonna give me a high five? You gonna give me a high five? No. All right then. Stuff it. My 2 brothers got away with murder. Ooh, I don't know about that, RJ. I mean, with only just over 300 subs, I ain't hurting a lot if I go on there, am I? Not unless they got a section for old and wrinklies anyway. Yeah, it is airborne. It is cold out there. It's going to be another big frost again up here, I think. Short Sharon Stone. Yeah, it's like I said in the video on today, that Baroness Moan. I mean, I saw some pictures of her, and I just had to put that out there. I mean, she's a prime candidate for MILF Monthly or OnlyFans. Yeah, but they don't understand it, do they, Holly? You know, they can't put anything in context in a conversation or nothing. It doesn't matter whether the threats, don't mention that name on here. Don't mention that name on here, AMG. That's the last person I want in here.
I'll ban him.
Call it mid-age. Mid-age plus. How's that,
How
James?
to?
No, you can't. Only I can do that. Well, I could actually. Hang on a
I
minute.
don't know how to do anything.
Hang on a minute. Right.
I've got remove.
Type a comment.
I've got remove.
Yeah, that just blocks it from you.
I thought that was block.
Just put a comment in.
Okay. I've got to type.
Right, there we go. Let's stop the chat a minute. I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. Hang on. What's going on here? There you go. So Psycho's missus was saying she can't block anybody or ban anybody, so I've just given her a spanner.
I had a spanner.
Did you? Oh, well, you got it back now. See what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing on this bloody thing. Yes, I did see that, Holly. Well, some of it. New and improved middle-aged. She's used to it, RJ. She's used to it. Usually it's because I haven't done the washing up or something like that. But in fairness, that is part of my job, as she's the breadwinner at the moment. And I don't mind doing it. I do what I can. On a 100-inch screen? Bloody hell. Washing up keeps your hand warm. Keeps them soft as well, actually. Yeah, the trouble is they don't sit on your lap very well, do they? You end up with, you get your dinner, it looks like a burrito. Eat gruel a week. No, I must admit, she does do the cooking. I do like her cooking, especially my Sunday roasts.
Which you're now not getting till the end of December.
Yeah, no roast now till Christmas Day. Otherwise, it won't be a treat then, will it? Because I don't care what the government say, but I'm not cancelling Christmas. Yeah, we went. It was bloody cold last night, I must admit. Yeah, let's get some Papyrus and Roman Red. Go on then, Graham. What film was that from? I bet he don't get that one. He's going to go back and look now. Nope. What we do, James, we have a selection of meats because we have Donna, the kids, Donna's partner, sometimes Ben and Carrie round as well. So we do. We usually have a turkey crown in there somewhere, but
no, not this year.
Apparently we're not this year. So yeah, we won. How can they call this global warming? Under a blood red sky. Good evening, buddy. Well, it looks like BT are holding up with their Wi-Fi here at the moment. On PAP Live on Sunday, it was a long one. And normally around midnight, my stream starts to break up. But fingers crossed at the moment, it all seems to be going well. But until sometime in January, I've still got Virgin as a backup anyway, because we had to take it for an extra month because BT didn't come to connect us up. Excuse me while I just see who that is. YouTube now live on your channel, new video. Paps just posted another video. Now, I could have shared that with you if I knew how to do bloody StreamYard, but there you go. Right, Graham, answer to the question of the film. It was the Mel Brooks film, History of the World, Part 1. Oh, well, we got all sorts coming in. Premier's just popped up, Holly. So's Agent X. Yeah, I like that one, the Part 1 Holly. That was funny. I do like the Spirit Box. I could have a lot of fun with something like that.
Come on, then. Okay.
Yes, Richard. That was the way they're trying to do it over on the continent. It was either Sweden or Norway, I think. But yeah, I was on about the Roman red and the papyrus, Graham. It's when Miracle's pulling the wagon and they see a field of Roman red and they get a big 3-foot long papyrus and get all the Roman soldiers stoned, so they're all dancing. If anybody hasn't seen that, if you've got a weird sense of humor, it's well worth watching. History of the World Part 1, and there was a Part 2 on the French Revolution as well. That was quite funny. Georgia Transparency, good evening from across the pond there, mate. How are you? Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I've got to go into hospital again tomorrow for a scan on my heart. What's the time now? Where's the bloody clock? There it is. In about half an hour, I will be doing my blood pressure readings, so we can have a look at those live. Yeah. Apparently, it is quite a big one, and could well be something wrong with it, Graham. I was actually born with a hole in my heart, as well as a shadow on my lung. But the hole seems to have closed up on the last scan because they couldn't find it. But it was quite discerning the first time they let me listen to it through a stethoscope or a recording of it. Every heartbeat, there was like a shoo between each beat. So it boom, shoo, boom, shoo. And apparently this was the blood going through the hole. And it may have been the start of things because the hole was actually between the two halves. So the clean blood that goes through was mixing with the dirty blood coming back or something like that. But it was too small to operate on. It did, for some reason, leave me short of breath. So I couldn't do a lot of sports at school. So I did the throwing sports and athletics, and rather than running, because I hated running. I don't like running anyway. Yeah, that's one you've really got to look into, Holly, is Kevin. Yeah, I could do a boom, but boom, shoo, boom, shoo. Maybe I was just taking in it. Hello, what we got here? Yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, people. I can't actually see on it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, Heather had to go in yesterday for ultrasound. There is something there. She knows what it is, but it's up to her if she wants to tell you. I don't think it's my place. You'll be waiting another bloody year then, Eden. Boily Boyle, good evening, buddy. $16 on. We've already got the same amount I had last time in half the time. Oh, this is one of the reasons I wanted to try do an evening one. I think it just gives more people a bit of a chance to get on. You know, there's a lot of people I'd like to join in on their lives, but the times of the night or morning that they pop up. I did go back and watch Princess Angela's this morning, and at the time she went live, I might not be asleep, but I'm just laid on the bed chilling most of the time. I'm lucky if I get 2-3 hours sleep a night at the moment with me restless legs and. Yeah, we've actually got ours on at the moment. When Heather's in the office at work, I don't have it on during the day, but I've got to keep my legs warm because they're the worst thing at the moment. So underneath the table here, I've got a little. Oh, it's only a foot and a half, if that, foot and a half tall little oil-filled radiator. So I just switch that on so there's a bit of heat under the table. That keeps the circulation going properly in my legs, and some of the heat permeates up the front, which is quite nice. But the price of it now is just getting bloody ridiculous. Yeah, we do have the heating on when she's at home. Obviously, she's working upstairs. Believe it or not, Holly, they use quite a bit of electricity, them heated blankets. Very funny, Agent X. Very funny. Well, I've got me me woolly if I need it. I have when I find it out just for a giggle, I'll dig it out. I've got one of them. I call them the Elmer Fudd app, like a hunter's cap, with the the ear flaps and that down. I use it for fishing. Yeah, you could even use Stadium Buddies. We won, but they do go cold eventually. They're only warm for about a few minutes first, aren't they? But it's just like I said in the video today. It's this sort of weather's great if you're incontinent because you don't get a damp bed in the morning. You can just snap the icicle off and throw it down the toilet when you get up. But I think there's going to be an awful lot of people lost this winter with the way they go on. Sorry, I was just trying to read that comment from Holly there. To me, at this distance with these glasses, it looked like she'd put her head in the microwave. Yeah, it's just a bitch when you turn over, though, Graham, because it's a bit hard, isn't it? Yeah, John, we both have already got those skills. I spent a lot of years doing survival training, bushcrafting, living off the land and stuff like that. Before I fell ill, I was still doing it. I was taking another lad up the woods, and that sounds bad, doesn't it? Another lad up the woods. He's in his 30s. 40s. Apparently, he's older than I thought. And I've been teaching him all the little tricks, and he was well chuffed. The first day he started fire without matches or lighters, his face was an absolute picture. Especially when he started doing it with flints and stuff like that. It is a bit of an art. You've got to know what you're doing, but once you've learnt it, it's so easy. It really is. The hardest one is the one that you regularly see on TV and that, with the old twisting sticks. That is probably the worst one to do it. A bow and stick is fine, or the friction rubbing one. Yeah, it is, John. It's, if we carry on the way we're going, it will be back to basics. And you think many countries still live like that anyway around the world. Only one chihuahua, Holly. You need two. It's like a pair of slippers, isn't they? Increasing wood. Well, they've already slapped a lot of restrictions on wood burners, haven't they? The old ones are no good. They've got to have special filters on them. And you can't actually buy a new one without all these new stuff in it. Yes, they have, John. They have. Most people, if they had to go back to basics like that, they wouldn't have a clue. They wouldn't survive. I mean, there was several people that I've spoke to. Oh yeah, I've got an allotment, this, that, and the other. Well, an allotment, most common sizes of a domestic allotment, you wouldn't even produce enough food on there for more than a dozen meals in a year, and that's about it. Yes, there is one, James, but unfortunately, the coal isn't going towards heating or the energy industry. It's going to the steel industry, would you believe? Yeah, John, basics. Water first, shelter second, then food, and use as least amount of energy as you can to do any of them. But yeah, they're opening this coal mine, and unfortunately, it's in a real nice area as well. The same as they were going to do with the waste nuclear storage. It's not far from where we go up in Cumbria. We're only, what are we from Whitehaven up there? 10 mile?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, we're only about 10 mile from where that site's going to be. So if I'm physically fit and we keep going up there, which I hope we do go down to Whitehaven, so I might even have a trip round there to see if I can get some film or some pictures or something. Well, we are actually still importing coal, James, from Europe. And some countries, in particular Germany, have actually shut down nuclear power stations and going back to coal. All the best, John, if you're off, mate. Thank you for dropping in. It is muchly appreciated on this here little channel. It's taken a long time to even get it to the 300 subs that I've got now. And YouTube is still been around with that. I'll get to 310, which I've done before, and then all of a sudden I'll get 3 dislikes in a row and they all pop up instantly on the videos. I always used to have 100% likes, and they put a stop to that. And each time they do that, they seem to remove a few subs as well. I mean, my content now is virtually clean. I don't put up documents and that anymore. But because of me 2 bans when I first started up, within a couple of months, funny enough, they've just constantly harassed the channel, removing content, removing comments. Yes, it does, John. And a lot of what's happening now, as some of the old subs that are in here will tell you, I predicted this back during the pandemic. Oh, tell me about it, James. And I mean, there's no reason why yours shouldn't have built really with your content, because there's nothing on there that's controversial. You know, most of it's like a documentary type video, so I don't see why they should hold you back. You know, the shadow banning's the worst thing. You know I've had a lot more subs than that. I've had more emails saying people have subbed than what I've actually got, but YouTube just seem to remove them. And I've noticed now that they've started going back over some of the longest standing channels. And their other little thing now is if someone hasn't viewed the videos or commented or anything like that for a long time, they're the ones they start removing. I mean, I don't sub to the guy, but what's his name? Trevor McCult. He's a patriot. He's a veteran. Puts a lot of stuff out. If Dan thinks, if you're still listening in there, Dan, I don't know whether you're listening in the background, mate. I know you were off to the shop. Trevor has had a bit of a beef with his monetization. They hadn't paid him, and then they removed nearly £4,500 that they owed him, and they actually removed that from his account. You know, they want the money. Mark, good evening, mate. How are you doing, buddy? Glad to see you in here. Oh, I thought you can use Wi-Fi upstairs now, can't you? Yeah, do you know what? I never thought of putting it on my community page. I could actually, if I figured out how to do it, share it on Facebook as well, couldn't I? Oh, you won it. Nice one, Mark. Absolutely brilliant. So they've got to give you that back pay now then, and that's going back a few years, isn't it? Wasn't that the PIP one or something? Or the medical assessment one? So let's turn that round a bit. You can see her and I can see the comments a bit better. If I turn that light off, it would probably help.
I'm sitting there stroking my pussy.
Yeah, I thought it was, Mark. That's going to be a. I'll tell you what, that'd be nice if you got that back payment before Christmas, wouldn't it? That would drop lovely for you. You'd be able to afford to keep the heating on over Christmas and everything. No, you can't, HE. It hasn't got the calories and the proteins and everything you need. It's you can't. You can do the same with fish. It doesn't give you everything that you need. God, wouldn't it ever, Mark? Get a nice payment like that, mate. Good evening, Spence. Glad you could join us on this here little channel. That's peasants, James, not pheasants. We're all peasants. Yeah, I'm really chuffed for you on that, Mark. I know it's been going on for some time. We did speak about it on the phone a little while back, didn't we? Rowan Williams. Holy man. If there's one thing I hate, mate, is holy. Believe me. The only time I ever go into a church is weddings and funerals, and even then I prefer to stay outside. They just give me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like them. Oh, even better, Mark. I didn't realise they owed you that much. No, you don't get anything like that round here now, James. Not at all.
We might again now. They didn't during lockdown, but we might.
What? Oh, the round table thing, yeah. Yeah, that was the problem we were having, Spence, with Virgin. We've gone with BT this time, full fibre, 500 meg. So, because obviously Heather works upstairs from home a couple of days a week. So we have two computers running. We've got 2 or 3 phones on it, the TV's on it.
And it was cheaper for all that than it was for 100.
And believe it or not, it was cheaper for 500 meg full fibre, including fitting and everything, than Virgin were charging for 100. And because they didn't turn up on the day that they specified, we get 25 quid rebate on that, £5.25 for each day that we hadn't got their Wi-Fi. And the missus is going after them to pay the extra month on Virgin that we had to cough up as well. I think they might have got their game in order after I made that phone call that I put in the chat on the video that day. Yeah, I mean, I used to go out shooting rabbits regular, but round here you just can't do it. Getting a shooting permission round here, even if I had the energy for it, is nigh impossible to get a shooting permission now. I had loads back home. Well, down in Cornwall, it didn't really matter. No matter where you were, if you saw a rabbit, you shot the bloody thing. But I used to be like a woodsman for the local estate back home years ago, and literally we had to go in every year. Um, the rabbits, squirrels, and the occasional deer. When the stocks got too big, we used to have to go in and knock the odd one or two of them over. And one year we even had to go down there and shoot some mild winks. That come from mink. There was some wild mink had got in there. Whether it was a domestic one that escaped or whatever, I don't know. But we took out, I think it was 4 or 5 of them, and they never turned back. So we probably got the whole family out. But they just decimate the wildlife and the bird life. They will. Yeah, that's if that's on eBay, Paul. Yeah, um, I used to get quite a bit of that with the bike parts that I used to order. I, in fact, I can remember ordering one brake lever that I needed, and they sent me a complete set of hydraulic brakes, well over £200 worth. And I messaged them to say, "Oh, you've sent the wrong item." And they just said, "Well, keep that. We'll send you the right one." So I got the lever I wanted and a full set of brakes for the next bike build.
What about your Damascus blade?
Oh yeah, that was one. It's a shame I can't show that on here. Actually, YouTube would never allow it. I ordered a nice little folding knife, quite a little fancy one, not expensive. And this wasn't off eBay, obviously. And when the parcel came, it was like 2.5 foot long. Now, bear in mind the knife I'd ordered was only about 15 quid, but what was in this parcel was a good 2 foot long, curved. It was advertised as a Turkish carving knife, but what it looked like was actually a bloody sword, but it was Damascus steel, all the pattern folded steel. Absolutely beautiful. So I phoned the guys up that I ordered it from the supplier, and he said no. He said keep that with our compliments, and in a way as an apology for messing your order up. And 2 days later, I got the knife I ordered. No, it wasn't a kebab knife, Graham. It was actually it's curved. All right, Holly, no problem, sweetheart. I did see the alert pop up for it. I shall drop back in later or tomorrow and watch that one. Yeah, that's very unusual in a gun, Matt. Very unusual. I mean, Damascus steel is nice, but if it's not done right, um, especially with a knife, they just won't hold their edge. You can't put an edge back on them. I'll tell you what I do. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the cat there. If you want to, I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Keep them entertained. What do you want me to do? Dance? Good evening, peeps. Where's everything on here? I can't read the screen with these glasses on. No. How is everyone? Pleased to meet you all. Or for you to meet me. I don't know which way round it is. You shouldn't have left it empty, should I? Do you want some cooking tips? I'm no good with anything else. Yeah, he's gone upstairs. Kat's gone to follow him because she can't let him leave the room. Evening, James. Good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but good to hear from you. Let us know when you're coming up. Yeah, Mark, we will have, as I say, we'll have to come and see you in the new year. Sort out a date when it's good and we'll come over. Oh, he's back. Oh, well. Been good for now. Maybe next time. Bye.
Well, next time, put a chair by the side. Right, I will show you this because it is it's a kitchen knife, essentially. But if you look at the steel on that, I don't know whether it'll.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's a beautiful piece of work, but that is actually a carving knife. Yeah, that's what they sent me instead of a little folder, and that one was billed at about 60 quid, I think it was. No, it's not engraved, James. It's actually, they fold the metal hundreds and hundreds of times while they're forging, and that's what brings out the pattern in it.
And it's etched. Acid etched.
No, it's not etched. It is Damascus.
Yeah, I thought they acided it to bring it black and silver.
You can get some real nice ones actually, done with bike chains, so you can actually see the shape of the links. The most amazing one I've seen is the guy made a hunting knife, probably 8 inches long, but he forged it out of fishing hooks. Yeah, there is, Mark. There is a lot of videos out there that show how they do it, the procedure. That's where it started, I think. HE was Japan and obviously the Middle East, and that's why they call it the Damascus style, I think. You know, so some of the top boys that they'll fold the metal thousands and thousands of times to get thousands of layers. My bloody chair's dropped now. Is that you lowered my chair?
No, I just sat on it.
Yeah, it does, James. It's hours and hours of work. I mean, just forging a normal knife. I mean, as you know, I had that little home-built forge that I used to have out the back and outside in the workshop, and just doing a straight forged normal blade out of carbon steel used to piss the neighbours off. Something rotten out there with all the banging. But one in the back there wasn't too happy about it because to make the forge, I actually nicked a brand new bread tin and some baking trays to make the forge. And she went and bought me a second-hand hairdryer from the reclaim place because I threatened to nick hers as a bellows. Yeah, I've got a couple of them, HE. I've actually got one that's carbon steel, and it doubles up as a striker for me flint for starting the fire. So literally, I can go to a dead fir tree. Within a couple of minutes, I got some nice fat wood that I can take some shavings off and some dust, and then literally I've got the flint and the steel on the back of the blade to light it. Well, you do need a bit of burnt cloth, but I've got my steel striker as well. So. Some of you may remember the video I did on starting fire where I actually set light to the table outside when everything went up a bit quick. The tinder was well dry. But next year, once the weather warms up a bit, I shall do a few more of those. I expect, showing different techniques. Yeah, you can, Mark. I mean, the one I used to carry on my belt on the boat, that was a very good knife, and it was a very expensive one. It was one of the original bucks, the buck knives from America, and that was probably the best blade I've ever owned, if I'm honest. I've got quite a few upstairs locked in boxes. I used to collect them. Yeah, bark, birch bark is another one. The best one with the birch is Opinel knives. Yes, I've got a couple of those, the old French ones. The birch as well, you can tap it and you get some nice refreshing drink out of it. All right, Agent X, you take care, sweetheart. I have been watching what you've been posting. I'm sorry you lost that case, but I think you really should appeal that. Yeah, and with the birch bark, you just hold with your knife, knock a peg in so it will run out. Same with the fir tree, you get the sap and the resin out of there. You can actually turn that into white spirits. And I've always been asked, why do you need white spirits when you're out there? Well, what people don't realise, it's also not an anaesthetic. What would you call it? Not an anaesthetic. Antiseptic is the word I'm looking for. You can use that as an antiseptic. If you collect the resin, there's quite a few different ways of getting that off stumps, branches. You can make glue out of that. It's an excellent fire starting material. In America, it's big business. People go out and actually harvest the fat wood and they sell it in bundles as fire starters for your home fires and that, believe it or not. All right, Graham, not a problem, mate. Thank you for dropping in. Yes, John, exactly. It's a twisted fire starter, twisted bus conductor. A closet pyromaniac. Yeah, that's only the fur though, James. We used to have trees up the wood that we marked. You just take a nick out of it with an axe or a knife, and when you go back the next time, because the sap had come out and hardened to heal that wound and the tree, as it were, you can just pick that off and it'll do it time and time and time again if you go back to the same tree. Yes, Mark, that is the way you do it. It's the same way you make char cloth or even charcoal. As long as there's no air getting in there. Yeah, years of experience to learn all that, John. And I tried to join the army when I was young, and they failed me on a medical because of the hole in my heart, etc. But most of my mates got in, so I took it on myself, and I actually paid for my training here and abroad. Obviously, there's certain aspects of it that you can't do legally in this country, um, especially concerning firearms. Although I did go to a few ranges back then, one military one. I won't say where or how, but as long as there was a ranking officer giving me permission, and I was under supervision of the range marshal, I was allowed on. And every now and again, he'd come out with one of the antique weapons. Trying to think of a few. There was the 1911 pistol, the Mark II Sten, the Bren gun. He'd only give me a few rounds with each, just so I could say I fired them. You got the proper ones then, HE. Yeah. The Native Americans, believe it or not, are one race of people that I absolutely admire for the way they used to live their lives. They live with nature, not in it, as it were, or abuse it. And I like the philosophy of all that. Same with the Australian Aboriginals. Um, some of their knowledge, it's never been written down. It's passed on through generations. And sadly, it's getting lost. Yes, there is, James. There's an indoor airgun range over the football club. And we were members there originally, but the most you can shoot there is 20 yards. I mean, when we got the big range up at Weeford, I mean, we're shooting targets with air rifles, legal air rifles in this country, sub £12. We've actually got targets out at 200 yards up there. Yes, Mark, we could learn an awful lot from those people, a hell of a lot. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can check it out. They're on the internet, actually. It's called Blackbrook Field Sports, and there's pictures and everything of the range there. I actually did a video up there a couple of years back, or a year or so back, where we were shooting different guns up there, and Heather even had a go on the shotguns up there. She enjoyed that and surprised everybody with how good she was. They'd never actually known anybody that had hit over 50% of the clays on their first ever go. So, but with both Blackbrook, it is Hedden Brook, BROOK. He has got plans up there for an archery range as well, but so far it hasn't materialised. But there's a couple of shooting shelters up there, big long sort of sheds, as well as out in the open, and one of them's actually heated. He's got a log-fired boiler up there. So even in the winter, you can go up there, shoot, keep warm. But there's lots of new rules coming in now. They're banning lead pellets. That's going to go through. I'm not sure if they're going to reduce the power again, but that's one thing they're talking about, and also licenses. Well, how they can license an air rifle and not crossbows and longbows is beyond me, because both of those are more deadly than an air rifle. No, it's built into the guns, James. Some models you can adjust it. You have to cut off a little screw and replace it with an adjustable one. But to be honest, it's not worth doing. Most of the air rifles that are sold in the UK are designed to work at £12. The bigger bore ones may need a bit more, but up to a 2.2, you don't really gain any advantage through upping the power, and you do have to license it then. If you go over £12 per foot, it comes under the firearms license. And obviously, if you go over the top on your power and you're not licensed, there are very, very large penalties for it. Very large. Most of the ones that are adjustable, Mark, are the PCP that use high power compressed air up to 2,500 psi. You can uprate the spring ones, but it can be very, very dangerous. Your best bet is tuning them rather than upgrading them, so they become more reliable and more consistent. That's where the accuracy comes in with air rifles, is the consistency on how they fire. But I regularly test ours. I've got a little chronograph, and if I buy a second-hand one, or in the case of the Webley that I've got given one, and I would never even take them near the range unless I've tested them to make sure they're legal power. It has been known for the police to turn up, which they're quite legally entitled to do, and test your guns on the spot. As Heather said, yes, they do reduce the power on the guns for indoor target shooting. Usually the rifles are knocked down to about £6 per foot, which is half pressure, and the pistols run on their full pressure because they're only allowed up to £6 per foot anyway. And it doesn't matter whether it's a compressed air gun or a break barrel, the rules cover all of them. Pizza Demon. Yeah, Pizza. It's not actually law for indoor shooting. It's just that most indoor ranges, unless they've got a good 100 yards, will insist on it. I mean, Heather's got an absolutely beautiful underlever, HW97, and it's the stainless steel one, stainless steel action. And she took that over there one day. And yeah, she was hitting the targets. The trouble is, she was absolutely decimating the backstops. And they very kindly asked her not to take that one again. Cheers, 35E. Yeah, that's the break barrel in it. Break barrel. Well, we've actually got quite local to us, one of the top tuners of HWs in the country. Tony, his name is, and he's the only one that's actually licensed to modify factory new ones to sell on as a modified gun. Yep, exactly, HE. Same as me, mate. Same as me. Yeah. Air Arms make some very good guns, Peter. They do make some very nice guns. I mean, I'll always we like the HWs. I've got the 101 HW 101. It's the full rifle length, and there was only about 6 of them imported into the country. All the rest were grey imports, simply because it's a single shot and not a magazine. And all ours, except for I think I've got a couple, we all 177. I don't believe you need anything bigger than that for target shooting. Yeah, Tony is name of Samwell Shooting Centre, Mark. It's called. Can you remember Tony's surname? But he is very expensive, especially when you buy kit off him. But if there's anything to be known about HWs, he knows it. Can't hit a barn door with a Springer. I'll tell you what, Peter, we got a couple of good ones.
Even Josh can hit a target.
Heather's got the HW97, and I've got the what is my Walther? It's a Walther, and it's the bigger piston one. It's quite a big one. And what I did, I got another stock for it from the local dealer, because I know the guy who used to import them all the Walthers into this country. They're based here in Birmingham. And I did fractal burning and made up a personalised stock. I got a series of pictures of me doing it. I must post them at some point. Yes, HE. If I'll tell you a good guy to watch. I actually met him at the shooting show a couple of years back. Is Giles, the Gun Gear show. Big old boy he is, and he is absolutely brilliant. Such a nice guy. And he, manufacturers send him guns to test. I mean, he's got hundreds of the bloody things. He gets to keep them all afterwards. He's been to America, does the big shoots out there. What was the one he had one out there? It was I think it was a 25 cal running something like about 300-pound foot. I mean, this thing was unreal. It was horrendous, the amount of power in it. But they do use them. They hunt boar out there with their rifles. You can actually get a 50 cal. And there was I can't remember who done it now. A bloke shot a boar at about 70 yards with this thing. Heart and lung shot. And even at the distance he was filming from, you could see it squirting out of it, and it just went straight through it. Yeah, yours is bloody heavy. I wouldn't want to go hunting with that. Jesus. Yeah, I used to shoot full bore years ago, obviously, when we were down the woods and stuff. I mean, I can go back to when I was 16 and nobody batted an eyelid at me walking up the road with a shotgun broken over my shoulder and a couple of rabbits hanging off my belt. And you no chance of getting away with that now. But when I moved into the towns and that, as I grew up a bit more, there was no point in having a shotgun license. So I gave them all up. But I did get to shoot a Purdy before I handed it in. What a waste of bloody time that was for a £40,000 gun. It wouldn't mind, needless to say. Yeah, they were, James. They were bloody good old days, I'll tell you.
He's thinking about shooting the guns in the garden.
Yeah, Ben was a bit naughty with that, wasn't he? When the
Surprised me if Palm was round here.
yeah, Heather just said she wouldn't be surprised if you were involved in it with Carl, and we were shooting bloody crossbows up and down the garden
And air rifles.
and air rifles. In fact, I've still got Ben's old Webley 22 breaker up in the cupboard in the cabinet. But I won't use it. It's got to the point where the breech pin at the back that holds the spring and the block in is all worn and it waves around in an oval hole. So yeah, I thought you might have been involved in it somewhere along the line.
Didn't think they'd have left him out.
Well, I've got one up there, James. You'll love this one. You know where I won't mention what, but where you had your little bit of trouble round by the brook there. I caught two lads around there with a CO2 rifle shooting the bloody thing along the path. So I managed to get it off them, and I gave them 2 old mountain bikes for it, just to get it out of their hands, because yeah, some of them old one, Mark. Sorry, people, if you're bored about shooting and hunting and stuff. But yeah, some of them old one, Mark. I mean, the old guy who owned the estate back home where me and my dad worked, he was the one that turned up with the Purdy's in the back of his Range Rover, as it was at the time, and it was a matching pair in a box. And he was going to lend us them to go round the woods shooting up squirrel drays. And the old man didn't have a problem with it until I explained just how much they were worth. I said, you wouldn't hit a barn door at 10 feet with one because they weren't built for you. I had a couple of shots with one, put them back in the box, and we took our own up there. Good evening, Pap. I take it you made it back from the shop then? Nah, we didn't miss you. Not at all. Holly will be back in a bit. She's just gone to manage her premiere tonight, the second part of the one we had a bit of fun on the other night. Been on. Someone else needing our help, was it? Who says Pap? I know that's in jest, because anybody that doesn't know who Pap is doesn't deserve to be in here. Ah, right. Okay, fine. Yep. Okay, I understand that, mate. I must put up that one instead of police abusing powers a few times next week in the background there for you as well on the videos. It's a nice no, every time I see a name I'm getting as bad as you, Pat, getting confused with everything. Yeah, I think it's just a nice way of getting other channels out there, is put them up in the background. I've put Hedden up there. I've had Agent X up there, amongst one or two others. No, I always would, mate. Always would. If it's something I believe in or someone I believe in, I'll put it out there. Not a problem, mate. Happy to do it. Right, that's 8:30, so that's past my
bedtime.
No, not bedtime. Time to do a couple of blood pressures. Yeah, she did come on for a few minutes there when I went upstairs. We'll have a quick check, see if I'm going to explode tonight. It's actually quite weird, actually, because I thought doing the videos would put my blood pressure up. Well, it did the first night on one of Pap's lives. It went up to over 200. Oh, and this one's going that way. That blew up to 250 then. That's probably because I'm talking. Welcome back, Holly. All right, we won't tell her, Pap. We won't tell her. How did it go, Ollie? If you join in? Oh, that's Keith, isn't it? Come on, you think. I'm going to put this on and pump it up one day and the bloody thing's going to explode. So I've got to write it down because I've got to put it on my records. And the heart rate of 8. Bloody hell, heart rate's well up. Well, that's 166 over 96, which puts it in 1 bar below the danger zone.
But below?
Yeah, it is just below the admission to hospital level. But mine is constantly high. This has always been a problem. Stop. Yeah. Yeah, it is, Mark. I mean, I don't have to, but it just makes it so much easier when I'm trying to explain things to the consultant and that. And I don't have to wait for the GP to go in every bloody day or 2 or 3 times a week to get it checked. I can check it here. I'll keep a daily record. Once in the morning, twice in the morning, twice at night. And I write them all down so they can just look through them and they can see what's going on. Danger zone. Yeah, it is a little bit, mate. No, bitches. No arguing.
I lost my spanner.
Again.
You obviously giving it to me a second time. Took it off me.
All right, I'll have a look in a sec. Let me just do this. Yeah, well, as you know, I always drink Coke, James, but I do drink the Zero now. This one I actually bought, Mark. The GP wouldn't give me one. They didn't have any. And so I went on eBay and bought one. Hang on, where's my little dude? Gone. See if I can give the missus a spanner back. Where is she? You've gone altogether now. I haven't banned you. Ah, there we go. There's a moderator. There you go. You got your spanner back. Yep, I've been saying that for a long time, John. Trouble is over here, it's not as easy as it is in America. You know, you can't just go off into the cabin, into the woods and build a cabin where you like. But they're stopping that in America now as well. They're stopping them building them, stopping them living in them. The only thing that's really prepped, John, is me. But I have had one or two subs contact me that would like to learn some of it. So when the weather gets a bit warmer, yeah, that had gone up a bit. That was 173 over 95, that one. Yes, it can, James. The trouble is with me, as you know, I'm quite partial to the energy drinks. Not because of what they do or anything. I just like the taste. And the other problem could be the fact that I drink a lot of carbonated drinks. Oh, I've got all the tools, John. Don't you worry about that, mate. They're all in the backpack upstairs. Fire food. Yeah. What's that? Still getting the pain with your gums and that, Dan? With your teeth? Yeah, I've taken up to drinking a lot of coffee, James, but unfortunately I do have sugar in that. I've never been a tea drinker. Oh, don't forget, people, any of you that in here, which I don't think is many. Teeth, my back and leg. Yeah, I get my legs all the time, mate. On Paps Live this Sunday, there is another giveaway for general subs of a nice 4K camera. The little murder midget in here, Holly, she won the one on the members only on Sunday. Which is perfect for what she does. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, what I get in my legs, Dan, is cramp. I get a lot of cramp, especially at night. Oh, you got some good shots there last night, Paul. Angry murder midget reporting for duty. Yeah, I take it you haven't posted it yet then. It's all right, Ollie. It took him nearly 3 weeks to get me the T-shirt through to me, so but it's always worth waiting for then, isn't it? No, don't do that, mate, James. Not with her on the other side, that's for sure. I like to keep my head on the pillows. I don't think you'll find it is, Holly. There is a way of converting the camera inside, but it means stripping it. I tried it with an old phone, and it's a hell of a job. If it's made in China, you're probably going to get, what, 2 weeks use out of it before it stops.
I think you've got more spanners in here than others.
Yeah.
Spanner meeting.
Spanner meeting. Can you all hear Heather in the background when she talks? I don't know whether the mic's picking it up back there.
Yeah, she's loud.
Excellent. The other mic wouldn't do it, but trouble is she makes all sorts of gestures in the background and I'm watching the chat, so I don't see her giving it or Where's the cat? Oh, she's asleep on the floor down there now. But, you know personally how loud she can be when she wants to be, mate. Yeah, but that's the trouble, isn't it, Ollie? When me and Dan get on your premieres, you don't get a lot of sense out of us on there at all. Why would they take it down, Ollie? There's nothing in your video unless it's the sexy spook.
The pub she was at.
Yeah, could be.
That's what she meant.
Ah, yeah. I mean, we've got quite a few places round here. Not old buildings, but areas that are supposed to be haunted. And there's one where we used to go riding the mountain bikes, and some of the lads used to kip up there at night, just for a bit of a giggle. And they never saw anything, but people have said they've seen some weird things up there. And it's called the Witching Wood, and it backs on to Whittington Barracks, funny enough. No connection to my family whatsoever, as far as I know. But you do find the odd weird stone up there when we used to dig the trails, carved and stuff like that. I mean, we did have a haunted pub back home in the village. Good evening, Nick. Well, you're not far from me then. Yeah, Hot Was that's where we used to ride until the military threw us out and put that bloody great big gate up. But in fairness, those woods are the overshoot for the range up there. So, Hogwarts. Tamworth, not far, mate, not far. We're Sutton Coldfield. Actually, Heather works in Tamworth.
I'll just put that in there.
You're saying that, Mark. Me and my mate did a video. It's never been posted. He's got it on his computer. We did a tear down and rebuild of his mountain bike, and he wanted to video it all, and he did it in time lapse. This was back when I was still smoking the weed. And every now and again, you could see one of us in turn disappear off the screen, and next thing there's a big cloud of white smoke coming over the top. But yeah, Hot Wads it's a nice walk as well up there during the day. It's along the canal. The only access to it from the side that we come from is along the towpath. Yeah, I know the Camel Trail well, James. We used to go flounder fishing up the River Camel, and that was our main access. That was the time I fell asleep up there, and there's people walking past and coming past on their bikes trying to wake me up. I said, well, what you do? I got the rods all set up and there's no bloody water up there. Oh, yes, you're very special, Holly. Very special. Yeah, if you go up to the first bridge along the trail, James, and look across, that there's like a big hill over there. Well, that was where we used to have our crab traps down in the Shillet along there. And one of them fields up there where the sheep was, right up on top of the hill. I can say it now because I don't live down there anymore. But that's the place to go looking for your mushrooms. You go down the lower part of the hill, you got some beautiful little, what I call breakfast mushrooms, the little button ones. But then when you get up the top, the area was covered in little yellow tops, if you get my drift. Murder midget. Yes, Dan. Yeah. I never let it on when I was living down there because the type of meat people used to get round Newquay, it would have been swarmed. I mean, I could have made a fortune, but I just didn't bother. I only used them once and it sent me do dally. Yeah, you can, Nick. They put up a big steel gate by the old stone bridge, and when the firing range is live now, they shut that gate. You can't even walk through. You can walk from the other end, but not the end down by the Tay Otter. You don't need a drink for that, Dan. What's up with you? Yeah, they do, Holly. I had a real bad trip on them and I never touched them again. Carl, good evening, mate. Talking of my mate in the shed. How are you, bro? Surprised to see you in here. That one there, people, just to let you know, Carl, that is my best mate around here. James will know him. He was a friend of Heather's son before I even came on the scene. In bed dying. What's happening, Carl? Jess ain't been rooting you too much, has she? Yes, that is the James Palmer, you know, Carl. He's down in Cornwall now. Scarlet fever. Oh, you've got that new dreaded one, have you? I thought it was only kids catch that.
No.
Yeah, scarlet fever. That's the new one that the kids are. And apparently, contradictory to what the government have been saying, the sort of running out of the drug. Vomiting, stomach cramps. Oh, that's not good, buddy. That's not
COVID?
good. Yeah, it could be COVID, but that's more. Yeah, but that's more the throat, isn't it?
I had sickness and diarrhea for a week, love, when we came back off holiday.
Yeah, but I'll give you that.
I'd have it all the time if I've caught up you.
Not COVID, feels different. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. Very sorry. Called the magic. Oh, you mean the pink one-eyed womb ferret, Dan?
Dirty boy. Dirty boy.
Yeah, when you're feeling up to it, Carl, pop round, mate. Pop round one evening.
When he's better.
Yeah, now you know what I feel like, Carl. I very rarely sleep. No need to apologise to her, mate. She wouldn't to you. Yeah, you're more than welcome. You know the crack here. You don't even have to knock on the door. If the car's out the well, even if the car ran out the front, I'm usually in. So yeah, for those that don't know, Carl there, he was my little prodigy that I taught the downhill bike riding. He'd already ridden mountain bikes for years, but only cross country. And he's faster than I ever was now. He's a good rider. And I do miss it. I really do. Not just for the riding, but for the crack we used to have as well. In fact, I was talking about you just now, Carl, before you came on. One of the guys in here does the survival and the bushcraft, and I was just saying how delighted you were the first time you made fire without a match and lighter. The look on your face, it was brilliant. Yeah, come and do the rumba. I'm our cucumber in it then. All right, Mark, I will. Yeah, time is getting on a bit now. I'll catch up with you at some point, probably Saturday. I may not be online tomorrow. Just round the corner from it, Nick. Literally, well, I was going to say 5 minutes walk. It used to take me 5 minutes when I was working there. It takes me the best part of an hour now. But yeah, we're very close. Within half a mile. Yeah, it was. The look on your face, Carl, the first time you did that, it was an absolute peach. It was worth teaching you just for that. Now we're actually, if I don't know whether you know where Town School is, the 3 schools that are all back to back. We're around that area without giving too much away. Heather knows the area more than me. She was born around this area. Yeah, if you look across the road from Good Hope, there's what's the name of the bloody park? Rectory Park. We're a couple hundred yards the other side of that park. That's because you're never up here long enough, James. I see Mike and that when they come up, and Rat Boy, as I call him.
What is Rat Boy's name?
Yeah, you can answer that one, James. Heather just said, what is Rat Boy's proper name? Yeah, it was Nick till I moved here.
Good.
Absolutely brilliant, Dan. Absolutely brilliant, mate. I'm glad you're getting on with doing that. I know you wanted to sort of get back in down there. And the other thing is, it's going to do you is good as well. Getting out, seeing people again. You know, it might put that anxiety back into the back room a little bit more, as it were. Lee. Yeah, I've only ever known it.
I'm calling by his name every time he comes up.
Why? He looks like a rat.
Yeah, but I can't go hello rat boy, can I?
Yeah, it's not a bad area, Nick. It's but I'm more of a country lad. I prefer the countryside. I had a lovely little cottage. In fact, James will know the area. It was out by Roach Rock, and I had a little cottage out there. No electricity, no running water. The water came from a spring, and it was absolutely beautiful out there. Absolutely beautiful. It didn't even have an address. The nearest address was the farm about 3/4 of a mile away down the track. Yeah, my cat's got lots of weird names, Ollie. Dickhead, or Furfuck, and all sorts of things I call her. Yeah, it used to be, Nick. It was absolutely beautiful out there. No road noise, no nothing. But the old farmer died, and Wazza. Yes, Carl. That's a proper name is Puss in Boots, but I call her Wazza. Yeah, it was absolutely. I loved it out there, but the farmer's son who inherited it sold it all off, and it was added onto and built up as a holiday home, unfortunately. Yeah, I will, Dan. I was already live when the alert popped up, mate. I will go back and watch that before I go to bed. Where's the time? Nearly 9 o'clock. I don't think I've ever heard you sing, Dan. I think you did attempt it one night when you were drunk on the live, but I was still smoking weed at the time, so Heather actually used to sing. She used to have her own band, and it was called Whatever. No, it's shocking, Paul. Honestly, it really is the amount of corruption that's involved with them now. And as we've seen, it goes all the way to the top to the IOPC and everything. I don't think there's many there that can say they're clean. Just in case you lost Carl, police abusing powers there. That's Dan, the one that I was telling you about some time back. Well worth a subscription to him if you want to keep up with what the police are being naughty. You'll find it all on there.
Lost Souls Paranormal for the ghost hunts.
For what?
Lost Souls Paranormal for the ghost hunts.
What ghost hunt?
Lost Souls website.
Oh, yeah, that's something you might be interested in, Carl. I know you do look into a bit of that now and again. Lost Souls Paranormal on here, Holly. She does the ghost hunts and things.
I'll put some links up, but I don't know how to. Holly, post some links.
We only ever talk about good things about you, Dan. I mean, that was the absolute highlight of the year, coming up for your birthday and meeting the guys and girls up there. Yeah, see that, Dan? She'll put her link on here, but she wouldn't put it on your channel. That's the spirits box, Nick. You get some weirdos contacting you through that. And perverts. Yeah, it was, Dan. That was brilliant, mate. I wish we could have stayed longer or stayed over, but and it was nice for me because I don't drink. I could sit back and watch everybody else. That's one of my favourite pastimes when I'm out. People watching. If we do it again, though, I think we might have to put a lead on Sonic.
Got to do it again.
We can make it an annual thing, couldn't we? The pack gathering.
Do your birthday, my birthday, and his.
Oh, now she wants to do it every bloody weekend. People watching. No, that's glory hole. That's another thing old Baroness Moan could make a bit of money at, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, Carl, her channel built faster than mine did, but she only gets banned on Facebook. She doesn't get banned on here.
How many subscriptions you got then? 666.
I don't know. Is it 666 now, Holly? Your subscriber count? Yes. Yeah. Now I see where you're coming from, Carl. So you're going to stop taking subscribers on now, then, Holly?
Oh, maybe 421.
Dan's just unsubbed. Yes, and I actually had a number plate with that on it. It was I sold it. I'd made quite a bit of money on it actually. It was BSH 666, and back then BSH stood for Backstreet Heroes, which was a very, very popular biker magazine. And it was actually, I don't know whether you can see it under there. There is, I had it covered up. There's 3 6s under there. And that was a bit of a story. I was at a party, absolutely blitzed, passed out. And a couple of lads decided it would be good fun to tattoo 666 on my chest. Well, I wouldn't have minded if they'd have done a decent job of it, but I pulled them up over it, and I just said, watch your back, because revenge is sweet, and I can wait years. And 2 of them, one, I filled his shampoo up with peroxide, after about 2 years, and all his hair fell out, burnt off. And the other one we set up with a lovely young lady who we knew damn well had the clap. And they went absolutely nuts at me. And I simply said, fine, your hair will grow back and you can get cured with pills. I said, I'm stuck with that for life. And they never played another joke on anybody after that. Don't mention that name in here, Holly.
And now Dan resubscribes and makes it 421.
Yeah. Yeah. There is one other tattoo that I'd like to change, but at the moment with the blood thinners and that, I can't risk it, especially with what I've got in my blood now.
I've got a permanent marker,
which is that one. Obviously, I want Sean taken out.
I want her taken out.
Both. Yeah, having a tattoo at the moment could be very detrimental to my health, not just because of the blood thinners and that, but because of this nasty thing that's in my blood at the moment.
So if you're donating a pint every week.
Yeah. The trouble is, I do bleed profusely, even with a small cut. Murder midget. Now, I'm intrigued. When did this Keith thing start? I noticed that first of all on Sunday. And I didn't even know you were talking about Ollie to start with, but then I cottoned on. Angry murder midget. I like that. I like that one. Ah. Okay. But see, I don't do any of that on his lives. I just sit in the background using my spanner. Well, that's all right, pal. If you listen to the bearded veteran, you know, I'm the dad, you're the son, and Sonic is your love child. He actually does some amazing work for the veterans as well. Bearded veteran. I do follow him on Facebook. That's one weird platform to get used to, that thing. My life's a lot brighter for having you all around, if I'm honest. Obviously, the biggest shining light is sat behind me, but since I joined PAP and met you guys, it was actually through PAP that I did decide to start up a channel. He gave me the incentive, and don't know whether Georgia Transparency is still in here. He's one of my American subscribers. He does some brilliant work over there, holding those in power to account, shall we say? Close thing. To be honest, Dan, I don't go looking for any of hers, and if I see them come up, I don't bother. And now and again, I'll go on other lives, and if Crinkle drops in, then I'm gone. I just can't be doing with that idiot. Yeah, you got to shake him as well, though, Holly. But don't shake him too hard. He's got a bad back. Yes, it is, Paul. Very supportive for all the subscribers. And hopefully we support Dan as well. Yes, I do, Holly. I mean, he's already messed up some of the American streams with his ridiculous statements and shit. You know, he just grates on you. I mean, and as far as Brian is concerned, I've got no sympathy for her, but in a way, I do feel sorry for her that she's let herself get in that mess and get the way she has. You know, it's just a shame that people get like that. And for me, that's what ruins social media. I try not to get into any arguments with people. I mean, all right, yeah, the other week I got a little bit pissed off with Fluke and what have you, but he deserved everything he got there. I think that's the only time I've apologised for anything on your channel, wasn't it, Dan? When I had that right rant at Crinkle that night. Yeah, he is. I mean, you know, in fairness to the guy, he has got some decent points and he does have things to say that I'm interested in, but I just can't be interested in the way he does it. That's what does him for me. The fact that he just won't shut up. The size of you, Ollie, if you walked over him, it would just feel to him like a ghost walking through him. Yeah, exactly, and exactly, mate. And, you know, he'll ask a question and he won't give anybody a chance to answer it, you know. Spooky. Who was that? Oh, Roy J, wasn't it? Spook. You'll all be doing it tomorrow. You just get heels, Holly, put them on a grinder. Grind them to a point. But you can't use them for anything else because you'll just sink into anything. No, you could give them a massage and acupuncture at the same time. Yeah, looking at that, has anybody seen that picture on Facebook of the Coke can? Um, as far as I've been told, it's genuine, but it's actually got alongside the writing down here, going up the can. Well, you can't see it that way around. Down there, it has "Be More White" on it. Yeah, everywhere he goes, Ollie, he does that. Everywhere. And the thing is, it is annoying on Dan's channel because everybody's usually, except for the trolls, um, so courteous and laid back. You know, you have your say, you wait back and give other people chance. Yeah, he is Dan, very much so, like a child. You know, and then he'll get in a temper if he's not having his way, and yeah, Nick, there is a time to be serious, and there's a time to have a bit of a giggle. You know, we try and help people where we can on there, but some people, point in case, Bryony, they just don't want the help. I mean, we've had a few on there like that now, haven't we? You know, the help's been there, they've had the help, and they just don't appreciate it, or you offer the help after they've been moaning and they just don't want it, which I find very sad. You know, it's trying to snap off the hand that's trying to help you. And then they'll come on and bleat that they're not getting any help from anywhere. Well, no, if you carry on like that, you're not going to. You know, if someone offers help, you accept it gracefully. Yeah, a lot of them it is, James. The same as the trolls. You know, you rise to them and start talking to them, and that gives them, you're feeding them what they want. Yeah, exactly. They can't be helped. Oh yeah, and the trouble is, she's only getting attention from the idiots. Ollie. That's the problem. You know, like Crinkle, prime example. How that prick could ever help anybody is beyond me. Crying man. Oh, you mean Scott? Paul. Scott Andrew Home. That is the thing I always say, James. I'll give anybody help, providing they're prepared to try and help themselves. If they're not trying to help themselves, then it's a lost cause, basically. We have had a few of those on there. Yeah, she just, they seem to thrive on causing trouble. What's the time? 20 past 9. Yeah, I thought I saw him. He popped up I think it was in the comments on somebody's video the other day. I can't remember who it was I watched actually, but he popped up into the comments there. He didn't say anything to me, so I didn't say anything to him. Oh, yeah, the cesspit is absolutely mental, Nick. It really is. No, he hasn't, Ollie. He hasn't. Again, the trouble is with him. It's when he phones in, it's the same thing over and over and over. You know. There's not many lives I do go on now. Obviously, Sunday night with Pat, that's always my late night. Um, Holly's premieres, obviously, I jump on those if I'm in front of the computer and I know they're coming up.
Not doing a live.
And not doing a live. I do go on some of the American ones, Junkyard, and a few of those people over there. Some of the auditors. Yeah, it is, Nick. I try to stay away from the ones where they have the absolute debates going on and yeah, it is, James. It's I mean, we do get quite a few callers. Dan always has. Good evening, Brian. Hope you're well, mate. We have the phone in first part of the evening, and obviously, if Dan doesn't know them, then we're always a bit cautious. But some people just need to hear a voice the other end of a phone, and they just want to talk to people, which is absolutely fine. We've got some real good people that phone in regular, and it's a real pleasure to chat with them. Some very interesting ones as well. We did have one that used to make Holly's legs go weak.
The voice.
The voice. Yeah, not too bad, Brian. I've got hospital again tomorrow for some heart scans, but at the moment, the bloods, I won't get total results until next Monday, which is the final bloodletting in the sequence of 4. And it's at that point they'll tell me whether I've still got to keep losing a pint of blood a week. But I think they can only do it so many weeks, and then I have to have a break and then get tested again. But my next appointment with the consultant is 6th of January. It just means more work for us other mods on there then, Ollie. But as you can see, I keep all my blood pressure records. Are you sending a courier down, Dan? We would send you a birthday card, but at the moment, the way things are going, it's very much doubtful anything will get through.
Don't know her address anyway.
'Cause we haven't actually now, from tomorrow, there's not one day in the month of December where there isn't one strike or another going on. There's only 7 days this month where there hasn't been any strikes of some description. That's what he'll have suffocated by the time he gets there, Holly. Very special delivery. If you're lucky, I might drop you an email to wish you happy birthday. If I don't, happy birthday for Sunday. Yeah, we haven't been. I mean, I ordered some bits and pieces last week, and I think it was a day or maybe even 2 days late. They've actually lost one of Heather's. They've lost one at that one of my subs sent me a parcel with a camera in, and that hasn't got here. Yeah, the ones I posted out went through fine. Kaz got the microphone stand I sent her. Mark got the laptop. No problems whatsoever. But apparently, because of all the temporary staff they've got on, dealing with the strikes and backlogs and things, there's quite a lot of theft going on apparently, because a lot of the more expensive parcels have actually got written down on the paperwork what's in them. Good evening, Paul. Yeah, one of mine was 48-hour guaranteed delivery, Brian, and it took them 5 days, I think it was. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised, Dan. It's some of the post guys that have been coming around here I've never seen before, and I know most of them. Oh yeah, the couriers, and they're absolutely outrageous what they've been doing. Right, guys. Well, I will say, being as it's half hour past my normal weekly bedtime, we'll have another 5 minutes so everybody can say good night to everybody, and then we'll knock it on the head. Yeah, you're talking about stuff going missing. What was it? Done a whole gaming chair, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The daughter, he said he delivered it and what have you, and it was a whole gaming setup, the chair, everything, and I think she got that replaced, didn't she?
Yeah, because the photo he took of where he delivered it to was not her front door.
Oh, that was it. He took a photo of where he'd delivered it to and left it, and it wasn't hers. It wasn't her address. Yeah, not nice to see him, Brian. What's this channel all about? anything and everything, really. Yeah, good night, Nick. Thank you for dropping in. Like I say, I don't do regular ones, but yeah, I do like to pop up with a live now and again. Always try and give a little bit of notice when I'm doing it. Yeah, likewise, James. And don't forget, next time Mike's coming up, if you're coming up, mate, knock on the door. You're more than welcome. You know that. Even better if I can arrange for Carl to be over at the same time. Thank you, Cal. Thank you very much for that. And I'll probably be on Facebook at some point tomorrow, and I'll drop a few comments in there as I normally do. And I do copy a lot of yours and share them. No problem, Paul. No problem at all, mate. It's great to see you guys in here. It really is. It's yeah. Good night, Holly. Right, I think I'm gonna have a ciggy. The shoulders are starting to ache now for some reason. Mr. and Mrs. Roger. And don't forget the Pap Live on Sunday, guys. Obviously, those of us that are members aren't allowed in the draw this week. We had our own one with far bigger odds last week. Good night, Phil. Thank you for coming on, mate. Always appreciated. Yeah, take care, Cal. Have a great one yourself, darling. See you, James. Right. That's it. I'm out of here. And as always, before I go, stay safe, stay strong, stay free from fear. Thank you, everybody, for dropping on. It is appreciated, believe me.